Trigger warning, spoiler alert, take the top off the Wrangler. Ladies and gentlemen, you are experiencing the 174th episode of the Tom Kelly Show. We are podcasting Wednesday. Oh no, this is a Tuesday. It's about 5:46 p.m. We are podcasting live from John J. Burns Park in Massapequa, New York. It is the first real day of spring. John J. Burns Park is... If you told me this was a dump, I'd believe you at one point, but I think it's just a nice piece of seaside land just full of athletic fields. It is the perfect place for Jussie Smollett to stage a hate crime against himself. And frankly, looking at myself the way I look on YouTube right now in my mustard yellow hoodie, I look like I would be the accused perpetrator of a fictitious Jussie Smollett hate crime. I am leading with the Jussie Smollett news story because two reasons. One, it will get strangers in through the algorithms to experience the Tom Kelly Show. By the way, if you have a chance right now, show love where love can be shown. Write me a nice review on Apple Podcasts. Hit subscribe on your favorite podcasting app or YouTube. And I don't know if you guys can hear it, but the sounds of Canadian geese above me as I podcast outside from the back of my Jeep Wrangler are a little bit distracting. So Jussie, the boy who cried MAGA. I fell for it years ago. I had another video somewhere on my YouTube channel back when I was doing only video snippets on the Tom Kelly Show YouTube channel. I did a video about how Jussie broke my heart. You know, remember, Jussie Smollett's fake hate crime was pre-George Floyd. It was pre-Black Lives Matter as we know it. And, you know, it was a little fishy, the story, but, like... You know, the line was, and then they brought a noose, and they all started yelling MAGA at me. And I'm like, I know, I've met some racist people over my life. I know some Trump supporters. I don't know anybody who's ever yelled MAGA. So, that said... I just wanted to make sure I was recording. There you go. So that said, I believed him, though. I went for it. I'm like, who would be such an awful and intense person to fake a hate crime against themselves? And, well, it was Jussie Smollett. And at the time of this taping, his family called the police saying they got a threatening note or a threatening voicemail with... awful things that somebody wanted to happen to Jussie Smollett while he's in prison. And somebody said to me, Tom, who would fake a phone call like that? I'm like, well, maybe the relatives of somebody who faked a hate crime against themselves. Jussie Smollett, and I say this as a Caucasian man on a mountain of privilege, podcasting from a parking lot near a boat ramp. I say this to you, man. You set America back. You set understanding back, and you know, shame on you. And I think he's getting 150 days in prison, and he's whining. Frankly, 150 days is not enough when you think of all the victims in this world who we have not believed. Dude, you were getting interviews on Good Morning America. You were getting interviews on television. People believed you. And you just set back every victim known to man. Shame on you. So, back to the happy stuff. By the way, I'm wearing a hoodie, and I'm trying. It's one of those things of this is where I don't necessarily love doing the video version of this podcast because I didn't do hair and makeup. I look like quite the slob. It's a great day. It's the first day of spring. My friend John McCann, who passed away some time ago before human resources became such a big thing, he used to describe this day in New York City as the first day the sweaters came off and suddenly the average-looking girl got a lot hot. I forget what it was, but he had a saying for this day, and it's sexist. But on the other hand, I miss you, John, and it is that day. So I took the top off my Jeep Wrangler. and I drove out to see my parents. And quite frankly, it's a little chilly. It's one of those days where it felt like spring for a few hours, and now the sun is shining, the sun is setting, and I really should be doing this from inside the car with the roof on. Like, I feel like this is why people catch colds in the spring, because you're so excited. You're so excited the sun is out. And again, this is my season for where I wake up right around St. Patrick's Day. I suffer from some form of New York-based seasonal affectiveness disorder, and I know I'm not the only one, because this is why everybody goes on vacation in President's Day week and for spring break. It's because you're pretty much half the country is depressed from being in the snow. So this is the week where things start to open up. It's not so cold that I can't go outside, and it's not so hot that I am sweating and embarrassing myself. So we're hitting my sweet spot, people. We're hitting my sweet spot. I'm podcasting in semi-real time today, so I can cover the last 2 episodes I've done. And if you get a chance, the last 2 episodes I've done of this podcast, I'm very proud of. Yesterday's episode was all the jokes and all the fun, and I'm proud of it. I had my friend Jeremy on. We talked about Yelp reviews, and I kind of did a short test where I wanted you guys, my listeners, to join my team in my argument with Jeremy and to give nice reviews for Dorian's Red Hand, the bar on the east side we were arguing about whether or not to give a good Yelp rating to. And I hate to say it, but I posted in the secret Tom Kelly superfan group, hey guys, if you want to give a nice Yelp review to these guys, here's their link. 12 hours later, none of you have touched it. And I'm fine with that. Because, in fact, I've even gotten a little bit of hate mail about possibly interfering with the integrity of Yelp by having you guys post some 5-star reviews saying you heard about them on the Tom Kelly Show. And the only reason I really want to do this, I'm not friends with them. I have no loyalty to them. I want to see if any of them look up the podcast from getting good reviews from the Tom Kelly Show. So I wrote, hey, is anyone into giving Dorian's Red Hand a 5-star review even if you hadn't been there? And then our friend Steve Berger writes, in the secret Tom Kelly Show Facebook group for the podcast, again, you could join, you just have to ask, if people aren't honest with reviews and the stars, what's the point to using it? And then Berger writes back, if I consistently get there and it's a 2-star restaurant with 4 to 5 stars, I'm not going to trust Yelp anymore. And I'm not going to use it anymore because it becomes useless and irrelevant. Well, Steve, way to take big media, way to take tech's side in this argument, Steve. So Steve's argument is, if we keep giving businesses false 5-star reviews, we compromise the integrity of Yelp. Oh my God. Jeez. Thanks, Steve. Thank you for that. All right, back to me. Next issue. Following up on 2 days ago, a deeper and more personal show with Kristen Kenny, the life coach. And the short answer is I'd love you to listen to that. What was a few of you sent me direct messages asking what was my takeaway from my half an hour with Kristen Kenny. And I simply say it's time to add more vision to the podcast. I've been existing, I've been moving, but it's time to pick a few goals and make incremental steps towards them. We'll see what happens. So vision is not enough. You need action. And I'm slowly coming out of the tortoise shell I've been living in, where I haven't had vision for the pandemic. And it's time to get over that, man. You know, it's time to get over that. I've been asking for, let's just leave it at that right now. It's time to get over that. It's time to admit that certain old things aren't coming back, and it's time to live a new life. And I've wanted a new life for a while, and you guys are a part of it, and I thank you. Next issue. Let's go to fun stuff. So, again, Tom Kelly Show, the home of personal growth and fun. Let's see. They say gas prices are So I've been obsessed with the gas prices. It figures like I buy my first gas guzzling car and suddenly gas prices are so high. And I've been obsessed over what like gas prices so high jokes. Like, gas prices so high, my mailman called me to read me my mail. Gas prices are so high, Tom Brady had to come out of retirement. Gas prices are so high that beer is cheaper than gas. Now I just drink instead of drive. Gas is so high, I'm starting to think Fred Flintstone had the right idea. Gas prices are so high, the rats are carpooling in from New Jersey. Gas prices are so high that Oprah tried to give someone a car and they said, no, thank you. Gas prices are so high, my gas tank has appreciated more than my 401k. Gas prices are so high that Willie Nelson and Snoop are writing songs about it. And gas prices are so high, God, this one's been all over. Cheech and Chong made a movie about it. Gas prices so high. Oh my God, I am rambling, people. I am rambling. Again, we'll see. Like, I may rearrange the release schedule of the podcast. I accidentally released yesterday's episode on Saturday and got more hits in an hour than I usually get on a Monday all day long. So that's just an interesting thought. That's on Wordle. We've talked about Wordle too much. Who's playing Wordle? Anybody? I feel like I should be in a Wordle group. I realized I was playing the wrong Wordle. I was playing Wordle Unlimited and not New York Times Wordle. Oops. You know, I do feel better. Anybody feel better about themselves if they get the Wordle in a certain amount of tries? Like, I do my Wordle in the morning. And if I can get it in 3 to 6, it's almost like getting a good horoscope for the morning. I go out, I'm peppy, I'm on my day, blah, blah, blah. Along the lines of personal growth wrap-up, if I am rambling, I'm trying to schedule my day a little bit more. The one thing I got out of Kunal Arora's conversation last week was, and it was something similar to what Brian Koppelman said 2 weeks earlier. What are the checklist of things that you want to get done in a given day? That's a fun one. What are kids coming back from baseball practice behind me? We're fine. Thought it was Jussie calling for help. Anyway, I'm going to feel bad if he gets shanked in prison tonight, by the way. Totally going to feel bad. So, what's on my morning schedule? Listen, I usually wake up and then get pulled into an internet hole. I'm trying to structure my day a bit more. I wake up. I make sure the podcast uploaded. I listen to my favorite morning radio show, though I really could listen to that later in the day on the podcast app. What are the things that make me feel happy about in the morning? And I'm not doing them all yet. But I'm trying to, before 10 a.m., while I am working for myself every day, I'm trying to get in a trip to the gym. I've been doing spin classes instead of internet yoga with Yoga at Adrian. I've been doing spin classes instead of yoga by Adrian on YouTube. Though I wouldn't mind doing more short yoga before going out. I need 10 minutes of walking outside. That's the hard part in the city is I'm in a sunlight-free apartment, and it does rob me of a certain amount of vitamin D and joy. I'm not getting enough time writing for me. I'm not. I go into writing for other people, but I'm bad at writing for me. We're going to put that on the list for later as I structure my day. And, I take my pills, do a little exercise. And the trick is to avoid the black holes, and I'll let you know as I get further along. And there you go. That's the fun. And now here's the last one of the day. Venmo stalking. It is real, ladies and gentlemen. I have my stand-up joke of, and I don't even want to call it Venmo stalking. Do you guys know what Venmo is? It's the app on the phone where you send money to each other. For those of you who are out of that, it's what's cute about it is you can send money to each other, and each time you send money, you have to write a little note to the person. It's like writing a memo in the check. It'll be like, happy birthday, paid you back for the car, blah, blah, blah. whatever it is. It's like basically you have to write the comment. It's the comment. So there is a woman who a year ago I wanted to get on the podcast. Her name is Alexis Lete. She's a former Miss Indiana USA. I think she did it the same year as our friend Kim Lane. She's a model. She has 183,000 followers on Instagram, and she does this cosplay on TikTok. It's Wonder Woman Nobody Asked For. And on that account, she has 704,000 followers. Now, like 80% of the pretty girls on social media, she had a link to her Venmo, which is, I think, Lil Lete. I'll put that in the show notes. And I went to, this is awful, but I went to her Venmo thinking her Venmo comment history would be all messages from guys hitting on her. And instead, it was all messages from her dad. 9 days ago, money from grandma. She loves you. January 10th, from grandma. Please give her a call when you can. Love you, Papa. December 2nd, money from grandma. Please call her when you can. November 11th, money from grandma. Please give her a call. It seems like there's a pattern here. June 4th, call grandma when you can. And then April 30th, Grandma May gift of $50. Please call her. And it just got me sentimental about my own grandma. My own grandma would never be so savvy as to send money to me when I was elsewhere. But even into my 20s and 30s, would get a 5 spot from her. And then there were a couple of times then out of nowhere, she'd give me the big bills. And, I missed. It's funny. I read through this and I missed this. So, Alexis Lete, you are not listening to this podcast, but call your grandma. In fact, I was thinking of sending her money saying call your grandma as my slide into her DMs. Though I think in this particular case, this girl is a little bit too young for me. But man, 25-year-old Tom would be in love with her. Actually, 45-year-old Tom is also in love with her, but he's just more realistic. Yeah, I miss my grandma. So my joke on TikTok, which did not go viral, always funny to see which one of my TikToks go viral and which ones don't. But my approach on TikTok is there's a lot of guys my age, 40-something, trying to impress the younger women. And what they do is they go to the Venmo and they send money. I just know I would send money. But listen, if Grandma May is sending this woman $50 and not getting calls back, what the hell is this girl going to do if I send her a 10 spot? So my move is, why not request money from pretty girls? And let me just tell you right now, if I can find a pretty girl who is willing to do a TikTok account walking in cosplay in a Wonder Woman costume, and she's willing to give me $10, dude, I'm going to go engagement ring shopping. And actually, another side note on the girl, she had a podcast at one point where she talked about losing Miss USA. And I found it to be, as a guy who is a man of spirituality, if not exact faith, it was a powerful chat. So it's good to see her doing well. And now this girl, Alexis Lete, has a podcast about cryptocurrency where she talks to somebody who knows cryptocurrency. And if I were a smarter man, I'd be listening to that podcast and trying to learn myself. Oops. So I think that's about it, friends. That's about it. Quick shout-outs for the Magic Mirror. Shout-outs to Kathy, Diana, Marianne, Steve, Lainey, Ryan, Bonnie, to Caitlin, and to who else? And all my friends who listen to the podcast. You guys are great. Let's keep the conversation going in the Tom Kelly Show private Facebook group. And if you like the podcast, as always, friends, share it with someone who you think would like it. And until Monday, friends, good night, John Burns Park.